Hey everyone, this is Chanel Bertrand, and I am coming back to you with breadcrumbing versus ghosting and gaslighting. We're going to talk about this from a biblical perspective, so let's break it down. Breadcrumbing, giving you just enough attention to keep someone interested without committing or following through. We should hang out sometime, but never actually do. Ghosting, cutting off all communication suddenly without explanation. They vanish and you never hear from them again. Gaslighting, manipulating someone into not doubling, but doubting their own reality, memory, or even feelings. That never happened. You're imagining things. Breadcrumbing feels like being strung along. Ghosting feels like abandonment, and gaslighting feels like a psychological manipulation. And so, from a biblical view of breadcrumbing, this is that standpoint is very problematic, right? Because it thrives on deception, selfishness, and lack of clarity. All things scriptures warn against. God calls for honesty and clarity. Let your yes be yes and your no be no. Matthew 5:37. Breadcrumbing goes against this by giving a mixed signal instead of the truth. Relationships are to be rooted in love, not selfish gain. Love is patient, love is kind. It doesn't envy, it does not boast, it is not proud, it does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. And that's First Corinthians chapter 13, 4 and 5. Breadcrumbing is often self-seeking. It keeps someone around for attention without real intention. God values and integrity, right? The Lord detests lying lips, but he delights in people who are trustworthy. Proverbs 12:22. It is up to us to recognize that breadcrumbs distort trust by leaving someone confused or uncertain. We are called to treat others with dignity. So, in everything we do, do it to others what you have them do unto you. Matthew 7:12. Nobody wants to be strong alone. So, we shouldn't do it in others. And so, when you think about this, you want to think about it in a way where it's not just uh, serving purpose for a season or a reason. Actually, ask yourself, why are you in a relationship with somebody? Whether it's in a workplace relationship or it's a relationship with your cousin or with a boyfriend or what have you. And you want to do one or two things. You want to make sure that you are able to discern, why are we in this relationship? Right? And so the takeaway from this, from the biblical lens, is breadcrumbing is subtle form of dishonesty and manipulation. God calls us to be clear, intentional, and loving in our relationships. And healthy relationships really reflect Christ like love, which is honest, faithful, and selflessness or selfless. If you feel breadcrumb, remember your worth is not in someone's crumb. Because the only way that you get crumbs is if the cookie crumbles. It is being fully loved by God. God tells us that in Romans 8:38 and 39. And so, if we had to do like a devotional on this to bring us into perspective of what it is about this relationship, I want you to read this Matthew 5:37. And it tells us that let your yes be yes and your no no. Anything beyond this comes from the evil one, understandably. Reflection. So, in a relationship, it's easy to make crumbs for love. Someone may send a late night text, make empty promises, or give just enough attention to keep us hooked, but never enough to nurture a real bond. This is what you call the breadcrumbing. But God did not create us to live on crumbs. He loved us And his love is abundant for us. It is intentional and complete. And when other gives us inconsistency and confusion, we must remember that our value does not depend on how someone else chooses to treat us. The Bible calls us to tell the truth and to gain clarity. Jesus reminded us that honesty and integrity are in it's very vital in all that we do. We including relationships, right? Love should not be manipulated or half-hearted. It should mirror the love described in 1 Corinthians chapter 13, patient, kind, and selfless. If you ever been breadcrumb, know this. God never gives crumbs. He's offered the fullness of his love, his promises, and his presence. He wants us to walk in relationships that reflect his truth, not one filled with confusion and false hope. And so, while this is just really a short prayer, I want you to know this. Don't settle for crumbs when God has prepared a feast for love, truth, and purpose for your life. And I'll end our time today with this very short prayer. Lord, thank you that you are a God of abundance and clarity. Help me to recognize when I am accepting crumbs instead of standing in the fullness of your love and truth. Guard my heart from confusion and give me wisdom to discern relationships that are healthy and honoring to you. Teach me to love others with honesty and integrity, just as you love me. Amen. And so take that and go about your week in the fullness of God's love and clarity. Don't get bogged down about who's leaving you behind. Create a space of indifference. If you notice that someone is not returning your phone calls or texting you or beginning to question your integrity as you are in a relationship, believe me, the art of indifference helps tremendously to uncover things that are not um, harmful to yourself. But you have to choose you every time. Because believe me, no one is going to do the work for you. You have to do it yourself. And so I would like for you to go and really understand that there are more things to be uncovered in this lifetime. We want not to settle for just the crumbs when the God that we serve has abundance. He had a plan to to further us, right? And so in all of that we do, we want to keep the Lord first. And I just thank you so much for spending this short time with me as I continue to grow and talk about the breadcrumbs of life. There will be many situations where you have to